Hello, welcome back once again to Infinite Jeff, the project where I, Jeff, read the book Infinite Jest to you one page at a time, one day at a time, more or less, although I'm severely behind at this point and I'm really trying to catch up because if I don't get caught up, I'm in danger of just stopping, and I don't want to do that. I want to finish this, so this is page 452. Here we go. Dawn drills are of course al fresco until they erect and inflate the lung, which Hal Incandenza hopes is soon. His circulation is poor because of tobacco and or marijuana, and even with his Dunlop down both legs sweatpants and a turtleneck and thick old white alpaca tennis jacket that had been his father's and has to be rolled up at the sleeves, he's sullen and chilled, Hal is. And by the time they've run the pre-stretch sprints up and down the ETA hill 4 times, swinging their sticks madly in all directions, and, at A. Delint's dictate, making various half-hearted warrior noises, Hal is both chilled and wet. His sneakers squelch from dew as he hops in place and looks at his breath, wincing as the cold air hits the one bad tooth. By the time they're all stretching out, lined up in rows along the service and base lines, flexing and bowing, genuflecting to nothing, changing postures at the sound of a whistle, by the time the sky has lightened to the color of kaopectate, the ASCME fans are idle, and the ETAs can hear birds. Smoke from the stacks of the Sunstrand complex is weakly sunlit as it hangs in plumes, completely still, as if painted on the air. Tiny cries and a repetitive scream for help come up from someplace downhill to the east, presumably Enfield Marine. This is the one time of day the Charles doesn't look bright blue. The Pines birds don't sound any happier than the players. The ground's non-pines are bare and canted at circuitous hillside angles, all up and down the hill when they sprint again, 4 more times, then on bad days another 4. Maybe the most hated part of the day's conditioning. Somebody always throws up a little. It's like the drills reveille. The river at dawn is a strip of Foyle's dull side. Kyle Coyle keeps saying it's a co-wold. It's co-wold, I guess that's how that's read. All the lesser players are still abed. Today there's multiple retching from last night's sweets. Hal's breath hangs before his face until he moves through it. Sprints produce the sick sound of much squelching. Everybody wishes the hill's grass would die. 24 girls are drilled in groups of 6 on 4 of the center courts. The 32 boys, ominously, J.J. Penn, are split by rough ages into 4s and take a semi-staggered 8 of the east courts. Shit is up in his little observational crow's nest, a sort of apse at the end of the iron transom players call the tower, that extends west to east over the centers of all 3 sets of courts, and terminates with the nest high above the show courts. He has a chair and an ashtray up there. Sometimes from the courts you can see him leaning over the railing, tapping the edge of the bullhorn with his weatherman's pointer. From the west and center courts, the rising sun behind him gives his white head a pinkish corona. When he's seated, you can see misshapen smoke rings coming up from out of the nest and moving off with the wind. The sound of the bullhorn is scarier when you can't see him. The waffled iron stairs leading up to the transom are west of the west courts, all the way across from the nest, so sometimes Shit paces back and forth along the transom with his pointer behind his back, his boots. Alrighty, that was page number 452 of this book, Infinite Jest. Having a good night.